of silence. You know that silence is having this much power that if you're sitting anywhere with few people and everybody's talking, everybody's speaking, but you are there the one who's not saying anything, you're silent at that point. Nobody knows you there. A guy doesn't know you, but still, just because of that silence, you will automatically will gain authority, that high amount of respect and that high amount of trust. And you know when you have that authority, that respect, and when people start trusting you, that you can convert into monetization. And remember this thing, if there is no trust, there will be no sales. So you are automatically gaining trust and that authority and that respect just because you're quiet, just because you're silent. And not even that thing. Just because of the reason you are silent, you are being automatically a great public speaker. Just because of the reason you are silent, and just because of the reason you are silent, automatically you are building a thing which people go and spend their hours and hours and months to learn that thing in communication, which is actually saying that 1 or 2 hours of thing in a short manner. You will just learn being silent, practicing that thing in a daily life. That thing you will be. You will be such a great listener. You will be such a great critical thinker. You will be such a great observer. And you know, that is not only the thing. Just because of the reason you are silent, people will be automatically will be crave to know that, hey, when will you speak? When will you speak? Why are not you speaking? Just say anything. People will crave for it. People will have that curiosity. And not even that thing that afterwards you have said anything, like whatever. Then after that, people's mind will be blown, and not only that, and people would like to have a meet with you or want to be your friend and want to have a touch with you or a connection with you. This much power silence is having. And obviously silence gives you a structure, silence gives you a structure of language, and for the silence gives you a great amount of fluency. And I know many of you are thinking that, hey, really? This much power silence is having? How this much amount of benefit it can give to me if I am a normal guy? Because I never expected that thing that this much power it is having. Authority, respect, trust, monetization. How? What's the proof with you? And how these all things come? And how we can build that silence thing. And even that thing that people learn, spend their hours mastering communication skills and giving them lots of months to understand that one single thing of communication, which is actually how to convert that hours and hours of presentation in a few minutes. That silence builds? Really? How it works, I know you're craving for it and you're so curious for it to know those old things. So no further ado, there we begin with it. As I said, you're starting that it builds authority, high amount of trust and respect. And people also crave to hear what you are saying. Literally so very high amount of craving they have that when you will be saying, because you must have observed this thing. It can be in your classroom when you were small, in your school, in your classroom you must have observed this thing, or if you're in any kind of meeting or in a friend group, or in a particular group you're in, or in a boardroom meeting. You must have observed this thing that obviously there's one guy there who is always jumping, who is always saying everything. Like he's like extrovert kind of guy, everything saying. And whatever he's saying, only 1% of the thing contains value. But else is just rubbish. He's just like adding and saying, and everybody's bored with it. You must have seen this thing. And that guy feels like that, hey, I'm great, man. I make people feel laugh. I make people feel enjoyable. And lots of times people also laugh on those things. And you must have observed that thing, that there's one guy who's like extrovert saying, and that's what. But you also have observed this thing that in that classroom, in that boardroom meeting, or in that friend group, there's also one guy who doesn't say much, or he say very minimal. And people are always craving that when he will say anything, when his great words will come out of his mouth. And everybody's craving. And you must have also observed that thing that at starting he's not jumping and saying, hey, this is what is the thing, this is wrong, this is right, this is what makes my opinion. No, that guy doesn't say this thing. You must have observed this thing that guy mostly speaking at the last or like second last, he's all around, like second last or third one to speak at the last level. You must have also observed this thing. And you're always craving that when that guy will say, but you're not expressing it. And lots of people are also there who are also having that craving. But when that guy speaks at the last or second last, he's not speaking so many words, so many sentences, he's saying like two or three lines. But whatever he's saying is literally solid. Like it literally contains a value. And even those 2 or 3 lines of him or her Like this power these all words are having, it's just a fun front page of whole story. That guy is saying. You must have observed this thing, and that guy literally says with literally great emotion whatever he's saying. You must have also observed this thing. Like lots of emotion as a mental much happiness, sadness. No, 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 not like this. Like whatever he's saying about wealth, emotion and corrected it, wealth related. This much. You must have observed this thing. And whatever he's saying is like pitching you. That hey, hitting you that thing or knocking you. Because these words are this much powerful. You must have heard this thing. And that are kind of reportable words. And this is not the guy that, hey, he's also always waiting for his turn when he will speak, when he will speak. No. From when it started, when it ended, he was listening very carefully also. That he's not like the one like, as it is speaking very less or he's speaking at the end. It doesn't mean that he was not listening people. Whatever other people are saying. No, he was listening very carefully. He was giving a good reaction, smiling, that's all. And you were having that craving that when that guy will speak, and when that guy speaks solid, your mind became blown. And as I said that you were having that curiosity when that guy will speak, and your mind became blown. And as this the guy said 2-3 lines, and afterwards your mind automatically start thinking about what that guy said, what kind of impact it can create, what he actually meant by what he said. It was literally a deep thing. You start thinking about it, and you directly or indirectly find something in that guy that, hey, I should have a connection with him. I should be the friend of him. You also build that curiosity that I should have a connection. I should be a trust. I should be a friend of him. And you also observe that thing that you're not the only one who's having that craving, that other people are also there who are also feeling like so being a friend of him, and everybody's also having a connection with him. Or if it is a meeting kind of thing, a break happened, everybody's coming around him, asking for his opinion, everything. You must have also observed this thing. And also you must have also observed this thing that whatever he said, you automatically build trust on him. You just be like, oh, this is what is relatable to me. This is what is relatable. And you also like something, whatever he said, you feel like, this is what is a real technique. This is what is a reality. This is what is the reality of schools. This is what is the reality of other institutes. This is what is the actual thing. And you automatically build trust on him or her. Yes, and at this amount, at some time it builds this amount of highly trust that you can even ready to pay the amount he asked for, just for a few more sentences. And that's what's the single reason of silence. Then you might ask me that, oh, okay, everything rhymes, but how that guy built that thing of listening to people, that single thing, how that guy actually get to know that that guy have to speak this line, so that hits people differently. And those old things. How did God build that thing? Because everything he spoke was nice and those old things. But how he builds that silence, being a good listener, saying that thing. How? There must be any specific reason. Because everybody doesn't have this thing. Everybody's like, no, it's my opinion. I'm right. This is what. But what's the different thing? Do not worry guys, in the end of this video, not the end, but after I complete those all topics, I will share with you that how you can build and what the strategy he had actually applied to build that thing and how it actually impacted other people. So do not worry. So now we continue with this topic. This is how he actually crave people. And I know you must have experienced this thing. This is how this person craves people by the silence. And don't worry, I will tell you at the end that how the silence work. Crave people to be a friend and those all things. And another best thing of silence, that silence automatically solve that all argument. That silence automatically solve the argument, and even if you do not know the answer of something, if somebody has called you that, hey, can you please tell me the solution of this thing? You're just silent. You're being a good listener. A person will be automatically impressed by you, trust you, and feel like that you are everything for that person, and feel like that, hey, you are literally so great. And whenever he will have problem, he will call you, and automatically will trust on you. And automatically will feel that you're a great human being. Just because you're silent. You know how this is actually happening? First, let me just complete this topic, that how it's solve those all arguments. You must have experienced this thing, or you have seen that thing that, hey, a person that said something and that other person's ego had hurt, and that person said this thing, and that person said, oh no, you're wrong, this thing, and everybody started speaking against them, and that's what? Argument happened. First it was at words, then it goes to abusement, and then slowly it goes to fight. Just because of those harsh words. And that's what happens in argument. But when you are silent, you are just seeing that person, whatever he's saying, everything's solved. or when you say your precious words that, hey, are you okay? You reject that person, you just had a great eye contact with that person, or says, are you okay? Okay, nice. Or you ignore that person. You didn't say anything. That person start automatically feeling that whatever he's doing is time waste. Whatever efforts he's giving on those words are time waste. Because that person is not reacting. And that's what? That what that person was expecting that, hey, that person will say against me or say related to it, but you are silent. And this is how arguments are solved, just by silence. And also one great meme was also viral in this thing that there's one guy and there's another guy of like a very small brain, there's guy, and he's just shouting. And there's one guy who's like big brain. He's silent. This is what. So this is how it solved all argument. And when it comes, as I just told you, that it just like if someone has called you for a like solution of a problem, but you do not know it, but still you directly didn't say anything about related to the problem or whatever you know according to the problem. But you listen to that person, that guy automatically will trust on you and feel like that you're a good human being. How this thing works, let me just tell you. It must have happened with you that a person called you, or you called a person, that a person called you, or you call a person that, hey, this is the problem, do you know what is the solution? But you do not know much about it, but you have a small idea or own opinion related to it. So you tell that, I think this is what is the thing. What do you think about that? Have you ever experienced anything in that topic? Then that guy who have called you just start saying those whole story, those whole paragraph, and that guy start again explaining you that thing that, hey, you know that thing? This is how it works. This is what is the solution of it. And at the end you say that, hey, this is what is the thing. And that guy automatically start feeling that thing that, hey, you're a really amazing guy. You're literally a guy who is trustworthy. Why? Because he was just searching for the solution, and he went to lots of people, and lots of people also have this problem that the person who have actually called that these all kind of people have this problem that they don't easily trust people, and they just tend to blindly just follow what they're saying. That somebody said that, hey, you should follow this. Great idea, proven, this whole thing. But these all people will not follow it. Why? Their choice, obviously. So what they actually want is, they want something from themselves only, and the solution from which they're actually agreeing. So until and unless their inner self is not agreeing on that topic, they will not just accept that thing what that person has said. They will just say this thing that, hey, you are wrong, or they indirectly reject that thing. And they will move on in their life and ask to other people. So what they actually think is that they actually want something that they're actually already agreeing. So that is what is actually happening with you. That guy is calling to you, you share your little bit opinion, and then you ask that, hey, what's your opinion? And have you anything you have experienced like that? And that guy says, this is what is the thing, this is what I have experienced. And that guy actually starts telling you that whole story. And then that guy says that, you know, this is how it worked. And you find that the guy automatically finds the solution. And that can happen that guy find it, and that guy also said that, hey, here's our solution. And that guy's literally so happy after it that, hey, I got the solution. And you also revise that thing that, hey, this is what is the solution. And that guy starts blindly trusting you. Why? Just because of the reason you listen to him. That, hey, okay. And that is the where that guy was lacking. He didn't find anybody who was actually listening to him. Everybody was sharing their opinion. And that's what. You know, this is what happens with our life, that we know the solution. We know the problem of solution also, and in our experience also the solution is hidden. But we do not know. Because we are not having anybody to express to. And that's what. So if you will be the one who is the one listening, people will automatically will trust you. And that's what. And even it can happen with you that you are asking for the solution and you have said the whole paragraph, whole story, then you automatically find the solution. And that's what's that thing. You need someone who listens to you. Then you automatically will trust on that person. Those all believe you will have that, hey, that guy, that person is a literally great human being, and those all things. And that's what's the point there. So now we move on again to another topic, which is actually that how does silence make you a great critical thinker and a great listener, and how it actually makes an effect on your speaking, and how it makes you a great public speaker and improves your language, and how it makes you a great person, like any language, how it makes you very fluent in that language. So do not be confused, hey, what you said, whatever you got it, be on that. I will explain you. Look, first of all, to understand this topic, that how it makes you a great public speaker, how it actually make you very good, how it actually improves your fluency, how it actually make you a great critical thinker, great listener, great observer. is just from single thing. When you're silent, as I just said just now. And how you actually build that silent point comes here. You build silent when you're like everybody's speaking. Look, first of all, understand this thing that I know there are people who are lagging there, and I feel very bad for them. Like they see that everybody's speaking, they also feel like, oh, I also should say anything. Something I should say. As everybody's also saying, they don't care that they know that thing, they're experienced in that thing, or they're having expertise on that subject, or like that's something. No, they just have to speak as everybody's speaking. And also, silence doesn't mean that you have to be silent at every place. Silence doesn't mean that hey, you do not have to grab any of the opportunities. You have to be silent at that point and you have to observe things. No. Silence means that you are the one who is quiet when everybody's speaking. Let's suppose you're in boardroom meeting, any of the meeting is going on, or any argument is going on, people are just shouting, saying everything. But there you're listening people. You're observing people that hey, what they're saying, what they wanna say. And those whole thing you're observing it, you're being a great listener. But then you're waiting for the right point to say. As you are now observing it, you're actually understanding that what is actually properly going here. And at the last moment, not the last moment, at the ending point, you then feels like, and it's the best point, you feel like to speak, to share your opinion, to share your perspective, or share your feedback. Then you share it. That whole thing, that whole story that you have learned, you have observed that whole paragraph, as you were a great listener, you get all those things. As you have also experienced on that thing, that being silent, you also got that thing. You also get different perspective, different opinion from other people. You learn this much thing. But as you're a good thinker, good observer, you're silent, you're automatically being a critical thinker, you're thinking on it, and the best part, which you think so that, hey, it's the best part, then that's what you're speaking it. And for that, it might be like, hey, it's very normal, but other people, it hits differently. And that's how the thing works. And as I just told you just now, that at the point where people are like, everybody's speaking, everybody's saying that, hey, I will go to Shimla, I will go there, I'm having this much thing, I can do this much thing, I'm having this skill set, I'm having this degree. At that point, you're silent. Or points like everybody in a classroom, everybody in a boardroom saying this thing, something. But at that point, you're silent, you're observing things, you're listening to them. And when you feel like it's a great time, then you say it. When it comes to sharing feedback or opinion. But when it think of that you will go to this vacation, you will go this thing, you're having this skill set, or you will become this person, you will be a public speaker, you don't say that thing. You just express that thing by your actions. You just express that thing by your actions, by showing that. Let's suppose you were saying that you will be one day one great public speaker. You're showing that by your actions. You were saying that one day you will cross 1 million subscribers. You didn't just say to people that, hey, this thing, support me that thing. You waited. You gave in your full efforts. Then sooner that one day came. And that's what's the thing. And that silence only applicable in this only area, as I just told you, in boardroom meetings, when everybody's saying, everybody's showing off those whole things. But when it comes to catching that opportunity, that where only 2-3 people can go, at that point you're working hard, working smartly, achieving that thing, going there. And when there's opportunity to speak, do a performance, do a dance performance, whatever, at that point you're going and doing that thing. You're not that silence listening to people observing. No, this thing is not applicable here. So be careful in it. So that's what. And now another topic which actually comes here is that, hey, okay, everything okay, but people, this is how people be craved, this is how we become great speakers, okay, but how it actually forces us to do critical thinking, how it actually forces us to be a good listener. You must have this question. Look, as I also shared this thing a few minutes before that, you observe lots of things. But your mind is a process where when you observe lots of things, so then now the final thing comes, which is the thing that how critical thinking, how whatever you have just said at the end, how it creates a literally nice impact, which you actually understand before, but how it creates impact on people's life. When it comes to how you do critical thinking, look, I just said you be silent. You're not saying anything. You're observing them. And when everybody's saying, you're silent. But when the point comes that, hey, you're preparing yourself, that when you will say that solid word, your precious word, before that you're preparing, now what do you have to say? And that flow, you will actually get lots of things, lots of story, lots of things you observe, you got to know everything. You got to know everything. But you must have also heard that thing that your words are the signs or the signals of your mind, of your knowledge, of your skill set. Your words are the signals. So just by your signals, you're getting to know that, hey, what does their skill set looks like? So, like at that point, you have this much knowledge, and what you think which is the best thing, or what you think that this is the best line, you just crop it and then say. And it's just a process of like literally few minutes, but it's look literally big. And that's what. And when you say those all precious words, it actually, when it comes to giving feedback of those all meeting or what you learned, people just get to know everything. People just actually, those whole story which anybody shared, or those whole opinion, everything start coming in people's mind. And that's how it creates impact. And that's what, they start building trust on you.